Hey, streams are starting. I'm waiting for my client to go so I can do a AV sync check. Test. 1, 2, 3. Sounds like we're in sync. I don't have the quality options today, but I don't really care that much. All right, so I didn't stream yesterday. I'm doing Advent of Code 2021. Actually, I should get that window open, shouldn't I? Open new window, adventofcode.com. Here we go. So we got 51 minutes before part 4 unlocks. I haven't done part 3 because I didn't do it yesterday, so I got to catch up. What is Advent of Code? Advent of Code is an Advent calendar of small programming puzzles. You get 2 every day. You can solve it in any programming language you like. You end up needing to write a program that generates a short answer based off of some text input, and it's usually Christmas themed. So I guess we'll get started. Or let's get the administrative stuff out of the way. So I don't have the best automation for adding days to this, but I'll make do. Day 3. Actually, why don't I just go ahead and add a day 4 while I'm at it, since that's my goal, is to actually do both days today. And we'll just copy this, call it day 3. Let's turn that to no, leave it at a 2 for now. Delete everything out of here. We'll mark these as to do. Why isn't it not helping me type this? I don't know. Probably because I haven't done an import use of this in lib. Probably. Day 2, 3. P2, P3. Now when I save it, now we're good. This should be an exclamation mark. All right. Leave this for now. Let's go ahead and duplicate day 3 to day 4, since we'll do that later. And same thing here. Day 4. Mod day 4. There's probably macros to do that we can make to do this stuff for me, but I don't really care about it. Okay, should I get started and do day 3? I don't know if anyone's watching, but you know, we got to catch up. Probably everyone's already seen it. Let's just read it. Binary diagnostic. The submarine has been making some odd creaking noises, so you ask it to produce a diagnostic report just in case. Diagnostic report, your puzzle input, consists of a list of binary numbers which, when decoded properly, can tell you many things about the conditions of the submarine. The first parameter to check is power consumption. Hey there, Musen. Can't combine idents in a macro rules unstable yet? Well, maybe I could make a code generator outside of the macro system. Or just do something clever. Like I was watching you set yours up, and I think you had it, instead of doing it this way, you just had a different function that you had a function factory. But yeah, I don't really care about that too much, so I just kind of, you know. Yeah, there's Sarian. There's a hack crate that can sort of do it, but it's not sound. That's okay. If it was something I cared about, I'd probably look into it more, but you know. Finish your day 3 in one expression? Nice. You want to see my date? This one was inspired by Musen. It looks a little uglier with the comments, I think. I think it looks beautiful without the comments, but I added the comments for people who might be watching who are new to the language and have trouble reading it. Oh, and I also fixed the inlay hints, so we could actually see the types there. So, yeah, one function chain. No semicolons. All 6 parts are in one expression, including your command line argument, parsing, dispatching. Nice. Yeah, this is like the best. That's what we strive for, right? I was too lazy to do that for part 1. I ended up doing the fold. But then someone's like, yeah, you don't have to fold. You can do windows for both of them. And I was like, sweet. I could probably apply that back here. The only reason I'm doing a fold here with this previous, which is an option, is because I didn't think of window at the time. Anyway, part 3. Well, that's true. You're able to post it online. I'm no longer allowed to post code online, but we can always promote yours. That's fine. That your solutions will even remotely help others? Why? Your code in the past has helped me understand things in Rust I didn't know because they're cryptic. Okay. Yeah, but that just, to me, that becomes just another puzzle to figure out. Okay, power consumption. You need to use the binary numbers in diagnostic report to generate 2 binary numbers called the gamma rate and the epsilon rate. Power consumption can then be found by multiplying the gamma rate by the epsilon rate. Okay. That's good because giving me names saves me time because I hate names. Or hate coming up with names. Each bit in the gamma rate can be determined by finding the most common bit in the corresponding position of all numbers in the diagnostic report. For example, given. So whenever they say given, to me, that means test input. So let's go ahead and do that there. And because I'm picky, I'm going to line these up. And I'm not going to bother to do the R hash. I'm just going to leave it like that. Considering only the first bit of each number, there are 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 true, and 7 ones true. Since the most common bit is 1, the first bit of the gamma is 1. Okay, so it's 1, and then whichever bit is most common, etc., etc. So the gamma is 10110 or 22 decimal. Okay, epsilon rate is calculated in a similar way. Rather than using the most common bit, the least common bit for each position. So wouldn't that be just the bitwise inverse? Bitwise not? Yeah. So that's easy. Using binary. Okay, so is that it? All right, we can do this. So the test input is 198. We're going to say, let's try to do this with function chain. A lot of neat patterns in it, you'll admit, but it's very unique style. I can't wait to look at it. I learned a lot from looking at both your stream and the code that you write, because like the other day you were using flat map, and I didn't remember that you could do that to collapse away errors. And I'm like, that's pretty sweet. So yeah, we'll look at that later. So input dot lines dot map. I'm not going to be like the most sophisticated because I'm a little tired today, but line dot trim, and what do I want from these lines? I think what I want to do is fold them and count the number of 1 bits or something like that, or count either zeros or ones for each bit position. So I'm going to end up with like a vector. But first, I guess I will just do chars. And then map those to... Hold on, let me think about this. Yeah, I want to just map them to bools, I think. So map char equal, not equal 0. And then collect into a vector. We're going too long. Okay. And then I'm just going to do this temporarily so I can see what the type is. Yes, it's an iterator of vectors of... Actually, I could... Why doesn't it say bool there? It should know that it's bool. I guess it doesn't want to show me too much of it. But if I mouse over X, it'll probably tell me it's a vector of bools. Yeah. It's interesting. I didn't realize that the inlay hints would abbreviate like that. There must be some limit. Okay, so that I want to fold. And we'll start with a new vector. And what we'll end up with is like counters and a line. Yeah, there's a length limit for the inlay hints, 30 characters. Configurable? Probably not. So I think the first thing I want to do is expand the counters if they're not as long as the line, right? So counters dot, well, we can just say if. Actually, I can do it this way. I can say counters dot, is it expand? Extend? It's resize, isn't it? Right. So resize to the counters.len.max line.len with the value 0. All right. And then I guess we're going to walk through the line and the counters at the same time. See, I've already made a mistake, Musen. I've used a semicolon. I'm sorry. I guess I can get away with. Oh, yeah, I'm not alert enough to, or awake enough to instantaneously know how to do this without the semicolon. Anyway, we'll just get the answer. I know. Do I get like a semicolon score? And each one is like, it's like a golf swing. After 6 semicolons, I'm out. Something like that. So, can I walk through the 2 at the same time by doing a zip? I can't remember. Is this something zip does? Can you, is there like a mutable zip? Maybe I'm not remembering zip. That's an experimental only one. Is it this one? Ah, what happened there? Why is it all white? What's going on here? Refresh fixed it. Okay. I guess we could use zip because it should work with the mutable iterator. So can I do like counters dot itermute dot zip line dot, I guess we just I don't need the output, so just a 4, right? 4 count this. Do I do this? I don't remember if I need to say the borrow there or not. Counter digit in. See if I got that part right. Yeah, what happens if I don't do that? Just okay, yeah. Then it's just the type is that. So, but I could do that to be more, I guess, more clear to someone reading it. Yeah. So if digit counter plus equal 1, right? And then we do that for every line. And then at the end, we have to see if the counter is greater than the number of lines over 2. So that means first I need to collect the lines so I know how many there are. I hate doing this because now I'm going to get another semicolon. So let num lines equals lines count, and then lines. I'll just call these counters, and then We can form it just by bit shifting at this point, right? So I don't actually need this. I can take this and fold it again, I guess. Well, into iter, right? And then fold it. And it's just going to start with 0, and the function's going to take a value and the counter, and say if value is greater than let's say num, what's the name for this, like half num lines divided by 2. Now if it's even, how do we handle if it's even? What do they say in the text? What if, okay, I guess it can't be even, right? Because then there's a tie and there's the comma is not 0 or 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or maybe we consider that an error that we panic on. Because it would be bad input if there were just as many zeros as there were ones, because then there is no common bit. So just thinking of that case, we want to test for that, right? So then maybe instead of doing half lines, we have lines, and we just take our counter and multiply by 2. If it's, so we'll match on that. Match on num lines compared with value over 2. And, whoops, I didn't mean to inline that. Fill match arms. Oh, and then I have to output something, so we'll do that inline here. So if counter is less than, that means it's a 0, so then the output is just a value shift left 1. Equal, it's panic, bad input. Greater than, do I have it backwards? I think I do. Yeah, so that's so really this part could be moved out. Plus, and then that's a 1 and that's a 0. Right? It didn't like me multiplying there. Oh, I didn't parse them yet. Wait a minute. Why would I need to parse it? Value shouldn't be a string. Why is value a string? Why does it think value should be? Oh, because it needs to output as a string at the end. That number is really just the, which one? The gamma? And then the output is gamma times bitwise. How do you do bitwise? Is it just that? Dot to string. Okay, I can't remember how to do bitwise, so let's do a Google. Actually, I'm not going to do Google because they give away my location, so I'm going to do DuckDuckGo instead. Rust bitwise not. What is the operator? Oh, it's just not? Okay. And I need to be careful here because I don't want to introduce any ones above the number of digits, so I need to AND that. Bitwise AND. Is this just AND? Yeah. Okay, so bitwise AND with 1 shift left num lines, right? -1. Will be all ones in the lower bits. Okay, why isn't it like my toString? Unnecessary parentheses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. Oh, I have one extra here somewhere. Is it? No, I just don't. I'm missing one. Okay, now what is it not like about my value? Oh, really? It wants to borrow it? It's copyable. You shouldn't have to borrow it. Yeah, I did something wrong because I didn't use counter. Let me think about this. It's counter, not value. There we go. And now what did I do wrong here? I need to dereference that because it's a borrow. Wait a minute, I can't do that. What? Oh, no, it's not. No, it is. What? Hold on. Let me think about this. What did I do wrong? Wait, what did it say to try? Yeah, dereference that. Why can't I not? Type integer cannot be dereferenced. Okay, let me just fix this. Fix it that way. I don't know why I can't think of the right way to do that here. Okay, it thinks that lines is moved. Indeed, lines is moved by the count. How do I do that without... Do I just do iter count? So it doesn't consume it? Can you not consume... Oh no, that is an iterator. Okay, so then I can just do this twice. And put that there. There. One less semicolon at least. Okay. Hey there, Rally Monkey. How are you doing? Just as a side note, I'm not going to be watching chat as much while I'm working on the problem, especially if the clock is ticking. This is yesterday's puzzle, so the clock isn't really ticking, but, you know. If I don't respond to you right away, sorry about that. It's probably because I'm focusing. Bitboys negate is... Yeah, so Musin was helping me out there. So tilde is used as a pointer sigil. And oh, right. In the older Rust, right? It's what string used to be. Yeah. I sort of remember that. If pattern matched out the reference. Oh, the bug I had there for a second there. Iter clone or iter bireft. I figure I'll just lines it twice. One fewer semicolon. For now. All right, did I get the right answer? Let's see. No. Wow, I'm way off. Okay. Did I not follow the instructions right? Okay, well, let's see what my gamma is. I'm probably way off. Probably did something foolish. Gamma's 22. Yeah. So when I inversed that, I didn't do it correctly then. Let me think about this then. Bitwise inverse, and then AND with one shift left by the number of lines minus 1. That's not correct? Didn't mean to do terminal. 4, okay, that's not right. I think I'm just tired. I should be able to see this right away, but I'm not. So I'm just going to do what I do when I'm tired and just add some debugs. Number of lines is 12. Oh yeah, that's not right. Shoot. I don't want the number of lines. I want the number of columns. Duh. How would I get the number of columns? I would get the number of columns by, I suppose we can get that out of here as a side effect. Num columns. We just, when we fold, we have to, what do we do here? Oh, no, I don't have to fold at all. No, we don't know the number of columns until we get into here. I do know it here, though, so... Okay, then what I'm going to do is this, let counters equal that part, and then say let num calls equal counters dot len, and then say the result is counters fold and wait, why do I have a semicolon there? Oh, because that was for the overall expression. Num calls. I love how Rust formatter fixes this for me. So then this is really num calls, not number of lines. So let's see if I get the right answer now. Yes. Cool. So let's do that with my real input. Yep, my puzzle input. We got to make a file called 3.txt. This is where I differ from a lot of people. A lot of people will just open the file at runtime. I'm just being lazy and using include string. Include str. Cargo run 3-1. I need to be in 2021 directory for that to work. We get this big number. Let's see if it's right. Yes. Cool. So I got 26 minutes to do part 2. Let me catch up in chat. Hey there, Nice Law. Think you need to XOR with a mask to invert? That's what I was doing. That's what this mask was. I just had the wrong value for the number of bits. I had number of lines instead of the number of columns. And so the trick was just to get the number of columns out there before we fold the columns together here, and return the folded columns along with the original number of columns, and then we use that to make the bit mask. Mine's a lot simpler than your maze. Yeah, but your maze probably doesn't have semicolons. How many semicolon penalty points do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 penalty points. Ready for part 2? Next, you should verify the life support rating, which can be determined by multiplying the oxygen generator rating by the CO2 scrubber rating. Both the oxygen generator rating and the CO2 scrubber rating are values that can be found in the diagnostic report. Finding them is tricky. Both values are looked at using a similar process that involves filtering out values until only one remains. By searching for, I think this is going to be an iterative masking of some kind. Well, let's see. Before searching for either rating value, start with the full list of binary numbers from your report and consider just the first bit of those numbers. Then, keep only numbers selected by the bit criteria for the type of rating value for which you're searching. Discard numbers which do not match the bit criteria. If you only have one number left, stop. This is the rating value for which you are searching. Otherwise, repeat the process considering the next bit to the right. Bit criterion depends. For oxygen generator rating, determine the most common value, 0, 1, in the current bit position, and keep only numbers with that bit in the position. With that bit in that position. If 0 and 1 are equally common, keep values with a 1 in the position being considered. Wait a minute. This isn't possible, is it? Or are they talking about within one line? No, it's the current bit position. Let's look at their example. Start with all 12 numbers. Consider only the first bit of each number. There are more 1 bits than 0 bits, so keep only the... Okay. This is getting confusing. Semicolons are compile time appendix. Yeah, I know. I got 5 penalty points. Let me carefully read this again. Determine the most common value in the current bit position and keep only numbers with that bit. Oh, I see. So it's like a filter. So that's a 0. So keep only this number, this number, this number, this number, and this number, and this number. Right? Let's see if I got that right. Determine the most common value. Oh, no, it's not the 0, it's the most common. So here the most common was a 1, because there were 7 ones, so we would only keep those numbers, right? Okay, and then if we have one number left, we stop. Otherwise, we repeat considering the next bit to the right. So start with 12. So keep the 7 ones to start with 1. Okay, I got it. And so then the second one would be, you look at the 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. So there, I think 0 is the most common. Let's see, how many ones are there? 1, 2, 3 out of 7. So we would keep the ones with the zeros in the place, right? Yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay, and then the final answer is just that value in decimal. So we need some subroutines, I think. Right? So before I go anywhere, I think I want to refactor part 1 to get some subroutines out, because I at least need a subroutine for converting the bits into a decimal. That was this, right? So let's refactor this. Extract into function and call it bits to, bits to number. And this isn't counters, it's like, okay, no, it's not bits to number. Sorry, that's not extra. This was not just converting a number. This was also using a comparator to figure out if it's 1 or 0. So this is actually doing 2 things at once. So never mind. I won't do that. Let me just start with part 1. Put it into part 2. I need to update part 2's test though. 230 is the answer. With the same, and let me not make the mistake I made 2 days ago by fixing that to a 2. That was the mistake I made. That I lost like a bunch of minutes. Okay, and so we want to do this iteratively. So I guess let's make a function that tells me what's the most common bit in a given position. Would it be easier then for me to just make this into a vector of vectors first, rather than trying to fold it right away into counters? Probably. So let's do that, I guess. Let numbers input into lines, figure out if it's a 0 or 1, and this is hold on. I think we stop here, right? I collect at this point. We have vector of vector of bools, right? So what am I going to do with those vector of vector of bools? I'm going to have a subroutine where I can pass them in, and it tells me, given a bit position, which bit is the most common, I think. Actually, do I really need a subroutine? I do need a subroutine, but it doesn't need to tell me the most common. It could just... It can also return me it could also just mutate the number. So we can just do this in a loop, right? For position in 0 to I hate doing this, but I'll just do this. I guess that's fine, right? They all have to be the same length or else we panic. Sure, why not? And then let me fix this and put a to-do at the bottom just so that my formatter works. Why? What did I do? The inlay hint is right. Why did it not? Oh, because I didn't call it. It's always something little that I just don't notice. Okay, so I guess we'll say number filter. We'll invent a we'll invent a method. Numbers position. And then at the end, we'll just have one number. Well, hold on. We got a break. If numbers dot len is equal to 1, break. And then I just need something like this. And it took 2 minutes to solve it normally? For day yeah, it's taking me a while too. Oh, you solved it in 2 minutes normally and took an hour to get it in within your limitations? I can believe that. Okay, so it's not counters. In this case, it's number 0, really. Bit. And then it's really just match bit. Well, if... Can you just do bit into plus? Will a 0 go into a 0? And then that... I need to put this whole thing... Actually, this needs to be in another subroutine because I need to do this with two different conditions. So let's do that actually. So copy it for now so I don't lose it. Where am I going to put it? Down here, I guess. Filter numbers. No. Why don't I just make this part of... Oh, I'm getting confused. This is just filtering it once. This is like... I don't know. Yeah, I'm bad with names. What do they call it? Like extract number? I don't know. I don't know what to call it. It's gonna return me in 32, I guess. And we need to pass in, I guess we'll just clone it. Oh, I hate cloning. But I don't want to think about how to do it right. We'll just clone it. So numbers is just another vector of vectors of bools. Does this need to be iter? Probably. Okay, so this is like let O2 equal extract number numbers dot clone. I'm gonna need to pass some kind of function here. So this would be like O2 criteria. And then we're going to have a CO2 with CO2 criteria. And they want me to multiply them, I guess? Multiply them, yes. So then it's just O2 times CO2 to string. All right, so this is going to need like a criteria, which is a function that takes... How do we reduce this criteria? Most common, least common. So really, I don't need a function. I just need a comparison. Yeah, so actually I can just make it a comparison function between two numbers. Standard, was it compare? No, what am I talking about? I need a bool. Yeah, I need a bool. Okay. Oh, I'm doing too many things at once. That's what happens when I get too deep into this problem. I don't do one part at a time. What is it not like about this? Mismatched types. It just, because it doesn't know. It knows the types here. Oh, because of my to-do. Yeah, all right. I'm like, what the heck? All right. I can just make a... So what I was thinking of is the two arguments would be like the number of columns and then... Or the number of values and the number of values and the number of them that are actually a 1. Or the most common, I guess. I'm getting confused. That's okay. I got like 10 minutes left. I guess if I run out of time, it's not bad to just switch to part 4 and come back to part 3, right? Because doesn't seem like this year each day depends on the previous day. I don't know. Let's see. I could probably do this in 10 minutes. I think I'm going to do is going to count the number of 1 bits. So this is going to be like 1 bits, and this is total bits. And for O2, it's... if the number of 1 bits is the most common, so, or if it's equal to. So if 1 bits times 2 is greater than or equal to total bits, then it'll return a true. Okay, and so then criteria for CO2 is the opposite, right? The least common. So it would be just less than, right? Or, yeah, less than. I think that's right. Why did it not? Oh, because I have an... There. Don't need that anymore. Okay, I think I got it, but I gotta finish. I had to make this number filter, so... Numbers. Mutable reference to a vector of vectors of bools. And then the position is a usize. All right, so then oh, it needs the criteria too. Zip. There. See if I at least got the syntax right here. This is criteria. No, I have a plus here that doesn't belong. Can't add. A reference to a bool, so it's dereference that bit. That. Type annotations needed. Can I... Whoop! What did I do? Hold on. Can I put that in front and fix it that way? What is it not like about... I guess I can't... Didn't I do that in part 1? Didn't I do a bit into? Maybe I didn't. So I'll just say bit... If bit 1, else 0. Probably a better way to do it. All right, and numbers needs to be mutable. Okay, so then I just need to... Okay, I don't need to clone it the second time. I can consume it for good in the end. And I didn't need number of lines. Correct, I didn't need number of lines. Okay, so I just need to fill in this, I think. So the number filter would be... we need to count the number of values that have a 1 in the given position. So let num1s equal numbers dot fold 0 n and number tough stuff. I want to do a number.iter.skip position.take1.unwrap, and then if that, then n plus 1, otherwise n. Take 1 and is not... Wait, what does take 1 do? I thought it returns an option. Would it be okay unwrap? Hold on. I need to temporarily format this so I can understand what I'm doing. What is that? I thought take took an iterator and gave you. Oh, I don't want take. I want next. Yeah, that's the problem. And then I can unwrap it. Okay. X that. Put that there. Dereference it at the end, I guess. And then, oh, so skip next can be just nth. Yes, that is correct. Say I rely on the compiler to remind me about stuff like that. And then it's a slice, so I don't even need to do this. It's like, you dolt, you can just index it because it's a slice. And then I don't need to unwrap it because I just panic. I'm being silly. Okay, so then it's rely on the criterion to filter it out, right? So actually, I just need to do the criterion once. Let bit equal criteria. I think that should be criterion. Num1s numbers len, and then I didn't like that because that's a U size. Okay, we can change that. And then it's just numbers.filter, or what was it to keep some and drop others? Is it I can't remember this name. 3 minutes? Actually 1.5 minute. 1.5. I might have to put this on hold to do part 4. Retain, thank you. Thank you. See, a squared's the best. But I can't do it on a vector. I can't do it on a vector. Okay, so then I should probably put this on hold because I'm down to the last minute, right? We will put this on hold and get ready to do day 4. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to day 3. Day 4 unlocks in 1 minute. So let me take a quick break and have something to drink. Water, I guess. Day 3 still isn't compiling for you, or what? No, it's compiling. Oh, you're right. I gotta fix that. Thank you. Why is it not compiling? Total bits. Because total bits should be... Where's total bits? U size. Oh, this... Do I have enough time to fix this? Probably not. I'm probably gonna screw myself up here. There we go. Okay, just in time. We got it to compile with 5 seconds to spare. All right, here we go. Giant squid. You're already almost a kilometer and a half, almost a mile below the surface of the ocean, already so deep you can't see any sunlight. However, what you can see, however, is a giant squid that's attached itself to the outside of your submarine. Maybe it wants to play bingo. Bingo is... This is so contrived. It's played on a set of boards, each consisting of 5x5 grid of numbers chosen at random, and the chosen numbers marked on all boards on which it appears. If all numbers in any row or any column of a board are marked, that board wins. Diagonals don't count. Okay, submarine is a bingo system to help passengers. Currently, you and the giant squid pass the time. It automatically generates a random order in which to draw the numbers and a random set of boards, your puzzle input. So here's the example. There's our example. After the first 5 boards are drawn, first 5 numbers are drawn, so these 5, someone gets a bingo. There are no winners, but the boards are marked as follows. Correct. After 6 numbers are drawn, there's still no winners. Finally, at 24 is drawn, and we have a bingo here. Third board wins. The score of the winning board can now be calculated. Start by finding the sum of all unmarked numbers on that board. Okay, then multiply that sum by the number that was just called. The guaranteed victory against the giant squid, figure out which board will win first. What will your final score be if you choose that board? Okay, so then that was the answer for the test. Oh geez, this one's just seems like a pain, because we gotta break the moves off and then break the boards off, and then I guess we'll just hold on. We'll just keep it simple and make memory for the boards, and have a function to tell us if there's a bingo. And if we find one that's a bingo, then we can calculate the score. So yeah, let's do this. So part 1. Let lines equal input.lines, and then let, what are we calling them? Moves? Draws. Equal lines.next.unwrap.split on... Should I trim it first? Should probably just split on a comma and then map string trim map. We'll do Musen's thing that he taught me yesterday and do flat map what was it? A string from collect into a vector of I32s, I guess. I probably did that completely wrong. So lines option, so we get a slice, we split it, iterator splits, like the flat map is wrong. Okay, well, I tried to do that. Let me just do this inside of one thing because my brain hurts. So this would be num.trim.parse as I32 unwrap. There's a way to do it with flat map, but I can't think right now. All right, anyway, then we want to let the boards equal, I guess we'll just collect the boards. Let mute boards equal vec do, and then for how do we like get groups like at a time? I guess I'll just do it this way. Loop or while let line equal lines dot next, and then I'll just do this really sloppily. Let next board equal vec new, and then if, well, let next, well, if let line equal line dot trim first, and then if line is empty, continue, and then otherwise let row equal line, what's the format look like? It's just separated by spaces. So split white space. Look, it's not helping me here. Line is unknown. Probably because it's got too much to think about. Oh, this should be some line. That's probably why it's confused. There we go. So split ASCII white space and map to num. This is basically this thing all over again. Dot collect. I probably won't need to say this at the end, but I do now. So then if, actually I don't even need to assign this. I can just say next board dot append that. And then, oh, it didn't like that? What did it not like about that? Oh, is it extend? Yeah, append, extend, same thing. So if next board dot len is 5, then this is the sloppy part, right? Boards dot extend next board. Here it's append. Wait a minute, that's taking an iterator? Maybe I got this wrong. I might have this wrong. What does extend do again? Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to do append. So I must have had something wrong when I did this. Or is it just push? I think it's just push. There we go. Push, next board. And then next board equal vec new. Probably a better way to do that. So that'll get all of our boards, right? This needs to be mutable. This loop could be written as a for loop because why? Oh, I guess so. For line and lines, sure. We haven't used draw yet. So, hey there, Romania hate. All right, so then we just have to say for draw and draws. Which means I don't really need to collect it here. We will just say what's the verb you use when you, because it's just play, for board in boards. Board dot play draw. If I guess we can split it. If let sum score equal board, well, we can combine this. Why not? If let sum score board, then we're gonna break with score. All the way out actually. So how do we do that again? Is this how you do it? Can only break the value inside loop or breakable block. Really? Let me rethink this then. It's this part we can't break out of. Do I have to say like let score equal and then say break sum? I don't know how to do this. I thought you could break out of that kind of loop. What am I doing? What am I doing wrong here? You can't break with a value in a for loop. Use break on its own without a value inside. Okay, because what, this doesn't have a value? No. I think I just have to say let score equal none, and then this should just say score. Let mute that. Well, winning score. Actually, I don't need to even just do that. I can just say score equals. Then if score is sum, break. If actually, why don't we just completely return all the way out, right? Because if we get a winning score, then yeah, I want to just return to string. And then here we'll just say like panic, like we couldn't find a winner. No winner. I just need a way to play a board. So really it's just play board. Draw. We'll make a function called play. Play bingo. Mutable vector of vectors of I32s, and then that's a board, and then a draw is at I32, and then whoops, it returns possibly a score. All right, let's make sure I got the syntax here. If let sum score equal score borrowed, never used, I used it there. Oh, right, we actually never needed that. So then I don't need that, which means I can substitute that in there. Cool. Okay, so to play, we just need to search all the numbers, find if it's drawn in there. So for row in board, for column in row, if column equal draw, dereference, then we score it here, right? None. Let score equal all of the ones that aren't drawn. Oh shoot, I just realized something. We have to not only have a number, but we have to remember if it's drawn or not. Okay, so that's not too hard. When we make our boards initially, we can just make them into tuples. So where do I do that? I guess in this map. So we'll turn that into that with an isDrawn flag. Now we have vector vectors of numbers coupled with bools. All right, not too bad. Type system is pretty cool. I can do that. So it's not that we have a score, it's that it will be drawn. So column, let's not call it column, let's call it cell. Cell.1 is true. Right, and then we have to see if we won or not. I guess we could just do check all rows and then check all columns. If let sum, well, if row.iter.any, it's not row, it's board. If board iter any row where row.iter.all cell.1, then we win, right? I did not like that. I moved the board? Where did I move the board? Probably here. Shoot. Do I just need to make a borrow of a borrow? It's not an iterator. Iter? It doesn't like that because it's not borrowed. Oh, shoot. Iter mute. Yeah, okay. So then, actually there are two conditions, right? That's condition 1. If that, the condition is really long here. Or the other one is if, which is going to be more difficult, which is if any column is all played or all matched. Hold on, I gotta take this call. All right, coming back. I said I'm in the middle of doing evident code. Can I get back to? Okay, so then, I guess we'll just make a function to, well, hold on. I can just count for every row I can, yeah, I can just do a fold. So board dot fold. Can I do an iter and then fold? Basically, I want to count all the plays that are in every row or every column, and then if any of them are 5, then we win. So fold of I guess I can just have an array. Well, yeah, can't I just do that or do this and then mutate it? So this is matches and then row. So This is difficult for me. Why does it say it's a bool? That should be this type. Anyway, this should be like any call where call equals 5. This sure is difficult. Okay, you got the type finally. So, can I do matches.iter mute.zip with row.iter dot, well, 4 count dot cell in that? I think I can. If cell dot 1, then count plus equal 1. Dereference count. No, it's already. Wait a minute. What's wrong with this? Oh, I have to say at the end matches. Can't be applied, so I have to dereference it. Okay. And it doesn't like any because we have to do we have to iterate and then do any? Looks like it, and then that has to be dereferenced. Okay. That's probably an easier way to do that. Then we win, so it's sum, and then here we just have to consume the board. So map row to row. Well, I just do iter there. Iter. Actually, I don't want to do a map. I want to do a fold again. 0 with score and row. And then again, fold score with score cell, and then say sum of all marked numbers. Unmarked numbers. So if cell dot 1, then it's just score. Otherwise, it's score plus. Did I drop a whole bunch of frames? No. Okay, I saw something out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, what happened to this stream? Cell dot 0, right? Did I get that? Okay, no, I didn't. Too many unmatched parentheses. There we go. And then what did I do wrong here? It's some. Syntax errors suck. So the score is correct. It's a number. Okay, I got to break this down then. So then what's wrong with my fold? Oh, iter? Okay, and then expected a unit type. Why did it expect a unit type? Oh, yeah, just return that. Oh, okay, okay, all right. Return some. Or another way to do that would just be say else. Yeah, get rid of a dreaded semicolon. Okay. Okay, so that should mark. Actually, we can exit early if we never marked it, right? So we can kind of cheat and say let found equal false. Found equal true. If not found, return none. So this does the play, and if we did find the number, we're going to check to see if we have any row that's complete or any column that's complete. Then we're going to sum all the what do they call it? Unmarked numbers as the score, and then so if we get one, then we're going to turn that into a number and return. So let's see if we got it. It's running. It failed. I got 188 instead of 4512. So obviously I messed up somewhere. So let's break it down and maybe say debug the draw here. Chat probably has already told me and is screaming at me what I did wrong. Oh wait, why is it? Oh right, because it has to play the same draw for all three boards, right? So it draws 7, 4, 9, and it should have stopped at the 23, right? A 20. Wait, did I? Why does it say 23 and not 24? Hold on. Oh no, it has to continue all the way to the 24. Okay, so we actually did find the bingo. It just calculated the score wrong. It thought it was 188. So, well, that's good. We actually played the correct games, number of games, but it just didn't calculate the score correctly. So I can remove that debug on the draw, and we just need to debug the scoring here, I guess. So what? I guess we'll just print. Can't type right now. Winning board. Ooh, that looks ugly. Ooh, that looks ugly. Winning board is 20, the one that has 22, 13, 17. I think that was the right one, right? Oh no, it's the wrong board. It thought that that board won. And this isn't even correct. Hold on. What? Wait, they all won? Oh wait, hold on. We don't know if they won yet if we got there. I printed in the wrong place. I need to do it here. Alright. That's why it looks so ugly. Yeah, the winning board is this one, and it's that first row, right? So then it didn't score it correctly. Why not? Maybe we can find it by inspection here. Start at 0 and look at all the rows. With the row, start at the score, and if it's marked, then we don't increase the score. Otherwise, we take the score and we increase it by the number. And so, isn't that right? Oh, I have to multiply it by the draw. Okay, so it was 188, right? What? I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, I just forgot to do the multiply. Okay, so then get rid of the debug. I don't need that, or the print. So then it's this times the draw. There we go. Yay. Okay, now this only tested the rows, right? What if I have a bug in the column? Because this thing was rather ugly. I'd hate to like lose, like not get it on the first try simply because I messed up. So what if let's modify this so we get a bingo on a column first. So if I change the draws to be what? Instead of 24, Let's draw a 19 instead, and then the first board should win, right? So change the 24 to a 19. To a 19. And then let me put back in to make sure I got the... Actually, I can just undo, right? No. I can't undo. We have to write this again. Winning board. Board. Let me make sure... That should cause a bingo for this first puzzle. I want to make sure that I got that, if that actually works. Yeah, okay, so it determined the winning puzzle because of this last column. Okay, cool. So then we can try out on the real input then. So let me repair this, make sure it still runs, and we'll get our puzzle input. Give me my puzzle input. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. All right. New file, 4.txt. Paste that. Cargo run for 1. This is all part 1, I have to say, right? Uh-oh. Invalid digit. Invalid digit. Where is an invalid digit? Oh, do I need to trim? No. Okay, I need to see where this invalid digit is then. 23. So debug that before we trim it, I guess. Or after trimming it. Let's see what's wrong with my parser. Forward. Forward? Oh, I'm reading the wrong file. I'm reading day 2's input, not day 4's input. That's funny. All right. We're all good. We're all fine. Nothing's wrong. And I called it 3 and it's really 4. No, I didn't even save it. That's what did I do? Oh, I put it there, but I put it in the wrong folder. Yes, move it. There it is. Okay, we got an answer. Dare I try it? I think I dare. I dare. Yes, we got it. Now I can find... Well, can I read chat? Or... Because if I read chat now, it kills my part 2 score. Did I miss anything really, really important? I don't even know how far to go back. Okay, there's where you told me 3 minutes. Will I be pushing my code to a public remote? I'm not allowed to do that, Stephen Black, unfortunately. So, you just get to see me write it, but I'm not allowed to post it anywhere. Let's see. Don't listen to Clippy. I'm speed reading through chat, because I don't want to lose too much time. But everyone was just trying to help me, right? In Romania Hate said hi. And I got a GG. Okay, good. Let's move on to part 2. Then, that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. On the other hand, it might be wise to try a different strategy. Let the giant squid win. Let the Wookiee win. You aren't sure how many bingo boards a giant squid could play at once, so rather than waste time counting its arms, the safe thing to do is just figure out which board will win last, and choose that one. That way, no matter which board it picks, it will win for sure. In the above example, the second board is the last to win. If you were to keep playing until this point, the second board would have that score. Figure out which board will win last. Once it wins, what would its final score be? Wait, why does it want the final score of the last board to win? I thought it would be the one which allows the squid to win? Oh, okay, because the safest thing is to just pick the last one. Okay, so then that's just a small modification to our code, isn't it? Don't we just, we don't stop on the first win, we just play until there are no more boards to win, and then we pick that score? Okay, so let me just copy this. Well, first to copy the test. So they said it would be 1924 because it's the second to last second board. And then this is the test boards and moves. All right. And yeah, copy this. Did I already do this? Did I already copy it to part 2? No, I didn't. So I should not get the right answer without modifying anything. Right. So to modify this, we don't want to stop there. We want to just kind of, I guess, just drop the board, right? Well, there's two things. If it's the last board, we want to return. But if it's not the last board, we just want to drop that board, I think. So what's the easiest way to drop the board? Wouldn't it be, instead of doing it this way, we would just do a filter? We would do a filter, and if it's the last board, then it's gonna win eventually, right? So then it would just be boards.filter. Well, boards. What was that function again? It was retain? Retain, right? Retain board, where if it's got a score. Actually, it's a little bit more complicated. I can't just do a retain, because if we get to the last board, we still have to compute its score. So we have to go until the last board is dropped, and then return board. Okay, so then what if I have score here, and then final score? I don't know what to call it. Final score is sum that. And then we just repeat until there are no more boards. Instead of returning here. So we have to remove the board. Yeah, so I would just do a retain, and I would say if boards is empty, return final score unwrap. Okay, and then this, yeah, doesn't this just become boards.retain detail? Why did I type that? Retain board. Do I have to do iter mute? No, it's still retain, right? Correct. And then what's wrong with this? Wait, what? Why can't it just... Oh, well, I'm just not returning the right thing. So this would be false. Else true. Right? Why doesn't it like the type of that board? Expected a mutable reference. Oh, but yeah, okay. So is it retain mute? Okay, this is a problem because I can't mutate the board while I'm calling retain. So maybe I can't use retain. Yeah, because that only borrows it immutably. Yeah, this is a problem. Yeah, too bad we can't do drain filter. What if we just say boards? We can just assign it back into boards. And then we can just do boards.fold vec new. This is really ugly. Basically, take the boards all out of the vector, drop the one that wins, and then push all the rest of them back in.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
Iter mute. Yeah, so it has two things in here. Mute boards, comma board, and then this would just be boards. Actually, it's either way, it's boards. So remove the else. This would actually no, there would be an else. It's boards push board. Like that. And I can't do that. Why? Because I found them. Okay, I don't want. It's into iter, right? And then this is owned, so I need to actually borrow it mutably to play. Cannot borrow it because it's not declared as mutable. Well, now it is. Okay, you guys can't see the whole. See, the inlay hints make it look really funky. But that should work, right? So it'll play, and if it wins, it'll update the final score, and then not push the board back, so the board will get dropped. If it didn't win, it pushes the board back in there. And so when we get out of that fold, we'll have the boards that are left. And if we don't have any boards left, then the last one that won, that's our score. So let's see if that works. Yeah, okay, so then I can just run for 2, get the score. Do I dare? I think I do dare. Yeah. All right. Okay, now pressure's off. Let's see what my is it stats? Is it leaderboard? I want my personal stats. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm getting my typical rank, you know. I'm like between 2,000 and 3,000 based off of the first 2 days. This one, obviously, we're way behind because I'm delayed by almost a day, but not bad. I'm happy. This is my typical rank this year. So let me catch up in chat, and then I think what I'll do is I'll finish day 3, and then I'll clean up day 3 and day 4. Isn't this fun? It's such a challenge. So let me scroll back. Right, you were telling me that I had 3 minutes left. Do a retain on the vector. Yeah, we're gonna try that. I can't push my code up. Sorry about that. Fix day 3. You love that the giant squid likes to play bingo? I know. It's such a contrived puzzle, don't you think? Oh, we need to make a puzzle about bingo. How are we going to do that? We're in a submarine. Let's have them play a giant squid while they're in the submarine. Extend means you don't need to collect into the vector first. It can take in, yeah, it takes an, I always get those confused. I get extend, append, and push confused. That was back when I did, where was it? I don't even remember where. Push. Oops. Yeah. I always get that. Push is add something to the end of the vector. Extend is add a whole bunch of things based off of an iterator coming in. And append is where you take one vector and absorb it into another, right? Now, while that sum equals it next is literally the desugaring of 4. That's why I ended up being a 4, right? Yeah. While let lets you split lifetimes. Really? 4 almost always has a mono lifetime. I don't even know what you mean by mono lifetime, but I kind of see what you're going. for with the while let letting these split lifetimes, because it desugars to an iterator, and then, yeah, well, I can't see it completely, but it feels like what you're saying is right. You can use a labeled breakout of a while let loop, but we can't for a for because of how it desugars, probably, right? You didn't do matrices since high school. I know. I do matrices for when I double with graphics, but that's a different kind of problem. So yeah, Musin was just explaining what all the bugs I was making as I was making them. That's fine. Swap input line to column. I thought when I was doing the judgment of that there's a winner or not. Where was that? This. It would be really cool if rather than doing that, we could just do that after transposing the board. But I'm like, I don't want to mess with transposing the board just to test it. Or if there was a way we could... actually, you know what? They're vectors. Why didn't I just do a loop from 0 to 5? I made this way more I made this super complicated when it didn't need to be. This will work with any size board, but we know it's... actually, there's a 5 in there, right? If it weren't for that 5, it would work with any size board as long as it was... actually, it would work with even rectangular shaped boards. But since we know it's a square of 5, I could have just iterated from 0 to 5 and walked each column and each row at the same time, really, and just counted. What coding font do I use? I use Firacode. Settings. Firacode. Yeah, and the ligatures, yeah, so that's what you want. You made the same mistake when you saw the forward? Oh yeah, you used the wrong day's input. Yeah, I'm like, where's this forward coming from? And I'm like, oh yeah, the sub would go forward, up, or down. And you're right. Okay, hopefully I didn't miss anything in chat. I can go back and finish day 3 now that the pressure's off. So where were we on day 3? Oh, we were right here. Day 3. Right, we have to... Oh, I was in the filter, right, where we're dropping rows that don't match. So we do the criteria, and the bit was whether we keep the rows with it on or off, right? So then it would be retain where number, where the number in the position equals the bit. Isn't that it? Was I that close to finishing it and I just ran out of time? Let's just run it and see. No. Not yet implemented. Okay, I didn't implement something on line 95. Oh yeah, okay. I don't need it to do. That's gone. Yeah, all right. False alarm. I guess that was it. So then cargo run 32. And that's our number, right? Was that really that close to getting it before I ran out of time? Yep, I was that close. I was like literally a minute away from getting to the end of day 3 when I had to start on day 4. All right, so personal stats. Oh, greater than 24 hours. We almost... So if I had stuck with it, it would have been like 24:00:30 or something. Yeah. And how long have I been going now? An hour and 39 minutes. So when did I actually start? Like a little bit past 8. So the actual time of this was Like math is hard. Well, yeah, 30. When did I actually start? Been live for an hour, 40 minutes. It's 9:48. So it means I must have started at 8:08. So 34 minus 8, right? 26 minutes. So it actually took me 26 minutes. If anyone knows what the rank would have been for 26 minutes, I'd like to know. Because that's what my rank should be. And then it took me another 27, let's say 27 minutes to do part 2. Yeah, so I did parts 1 and 2 in roughly an hour. Okay. Wish I knew what my rank was. I had to find someone who took, 28 minutes and then an hour for parts 1 and 2. Should we clean this up, starting with day 3? Yeah. Let me go to day 4 because my brain is still stuck on day 4 with the bingo, right? So let me fix this. So that could have been a lot cleaner. We can say if for n in 0 to 5, well, let's do x and y. I kind of want to count the columns in each row and the rows in each column and see if anyone add up to 5 in the end, right? So I'll need 2 arrays here. R and these are mutable, and C. And so don't get confused, let's call this N and M. And we'll say if board nm dot 1, then this would be the row n plus equal 1, right? If board mn1, this is the columns, so column n plus equal 1. Actually, then I don't even need these arrays, right? So this is just equal to 0. If I'm doing this right, I can just say if r equals 5 or c equals 5, then can I do a break here? Break true, false. Comment all this out. And this is the same problem, right? Can't break with a 4. Starting to look like a math paper. Yeah, I know. This is just walking the rows and columns and like for all five rows and columns, count the numbers of columns and rows respectively that are marked, and if any of them are 5, then we won. It's bingo. Actually, the way I'm going to solve this is to refactor this. So refactor into a function, calling it check bingo. We don't actually need to mutate that vector at all, so this is really just an array of vectors. and this is return true. And that's it, right? Oops. No, that's correct. What did it not like about that? Oh, this. That's what it didn't like. Bool can't be... Right, we don't need to dereference it anymore. Okay, sure. And then it's just if check bingo board. Change to board? Why? Oh, because it's already borrowed vector and it can deref as that. Okay, so make sure that it still works. Yeah. Did part 2... Did I duplicate the code in part 2, or is it... Is it common? Yeah, it's common. It's part of play. Okay, so I think I like that better than this really bizarre set of folds and iterators, so I'm just going to delete that. Also, I refactored it into a function, so it makes more sense. Loop is an expression. I'm just cheating by putting into a function I can use return, which is the ultimate break, right? It means like, forget whatever loops you're in, just return, just pop the stack. Now, I could get rid of RNC. I can make RNC not mutable at all, right? I can say, I still need an M, but I can say let R and C equal 0 to 5 fold. So I don't even need a fold. Actually, yeah. Well, should I just leave it the way it is, or should I mess around with Iterator some more? Hey there, Everx, how are you doing? So Everx, here's my scores. So I wasn't able to do day 3 yesterday, so I started like roughly an hour before day 4, so it's roughly like 30 minutes and an hour. I almost got part 3 done before part 4 unlocked, but for part 4 I got my typical rank, so I'm happy with that. To do or looping out functions for prototyping compiler bugs reproductions is a fun pattern. Okay. Didn't mean to attack you, Musin. It's just that when I write them, they look funky. This looks nicer to me, but probably because I'm biased. Maybe I could keep the other one as an alternative. I didn't like the fact that it checked all of the rows and then all of the columns, and the checking of the two were completely different. This, we're checking them both simultaneously, sort of. So I like this, and I wish I could do that. I wish I could think of how to do that with iterating through that. I wish I could think of a way to do that with iterators, but I can't. Change it to every body loops, and that's why it's not perfect. Lost like 10 minutes because you didn't consider a case for part 2. You're talking about probably the case where what was it? We're talking about day 4 or day 3, Sarian? What would be the case that you would have missed on part 2? Oh, were you thinking like it wanted to know the score that the squid got, not the score of the final board? Or did you get the score of the next to last one to win? You can spoil it now because we're done with day 4. So spoiler, we already got through my solution. So we can look at your solution or your thing you got stuck on, or what now? You've been avoiding using fold and reduce map last is your new thing. What's reduce do? Reduces the elements to a single one by repeatedly applying a reducing operation. If the iterator is empty, returns none. Otherwise, returns the result of the reduction. The reducing function is a closure of two arguments in a key. So it's basically just an alternate form of fold, right? Where you don't have to give an initializer because the first thing in the iteration is the initializer, so to speak. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Like, that would make it look a little bit better for if the initializer is like, if the accumulator is an option only because the initializer has to be none, then probably reduce would be better, right? All right. I think I'm going to go with that because I like it better. Still using the fold, and here fold is better than reduce because we do want to start out specifically at 0, and I'm not using option. I could make this a little bit better, I guess. Score plus 0 or cell 0. Is that better or worse? I still think that a plus if looks funky. Actually, I'm going to keep it like that because I think that's easier to read, even though the score is said twice. Oh, wait, can we do cell.1 map or else or unwrap? What was it? Or you can do with a... I thought you could map a Boolean. What was it that you could do? Is it then? Yeah, that's right, then. Then... actually, we want to do, what's the opposite of then? If then is if it's true, how do we do if it's false? Is there an opposite, or do I just need to invert the bool? Because really it's when it's false I want cell 0. Wouldn't it be like then 0 or cell.0? Then takes a t. So it's what, score plus that dot unwrap. Why does it not like my 0? Oh, because it's a closure. And does that work? Okay, this could just be unwrap or, right? There we go. Is that any better? You can turn a bool into an option that then takes a closure. Yeah. See, I don't always remember the little minutia. You don't think this looks any better? I don't know. I did it without using if else. I think the if is more reasonable. We can put them side by side and you can judge. So there they are side by side. I think this is easier to read, especially for beginners, because you don't need to know about then or unwrapping or option. And this is like more traditional with a control flow. This is the functional approach. That's what that's the other alternative I had using. I had score plus, and then that, extract away the score, make it 0. And then I can remove that 0 plus. And you would invert it. I don't like to invert the ifs, but I probably should, because I should at least consider it, because isn't there like an optimization? Like if you don't, like, I can't remember if it's the then or the else. One of them is more expensive to go into, and so you would figure out at runtime which one's the more likely path, and then you'd make that first or second. I can't remember. You like one-liners most of the time, so you'd like that one. That's the functional approach, right? Whereas this is I guess you'd call it imperative, or the control flow approach. And then there's the alternate, where you refactor out the score. And then there's musins, where you take this and you just invert the logic. So you put a not in front and switcheroo. That's what Musin wrote. Branch predictor, yes. It'll make it mostly free, but so I don't need to worry about it. I think my personal preference is this one. I can explain why I think I like this better, because it doesn't introduce any weird concept. I shouldn't say weird. It doesn't introduce concepts such as the option type, or the then function, or lambdas, and it just concentrates on dividing the problem into two parts. One is determining if the cell is filled or not, and then saying what to do in either case. And even though the score is redundant, I think it reads better. It's like, okay, well, if it's unmarked, then we don't increase the score. Otherwise, we're going to increase the score by the amount in the cell. So that's my explanation. So let's move on. This was just an optimization, really. If we didn't mark a square, we know we can't have won, because we would have already won. So that's just an optimization. So I could split this into two. In fact, I could probably take out this from play, right? Although play is called twice. So I guess I wouldn't want to take it out, but I could like refactor this into two. This could be a function called I don't know what the verb would be, but draw a number with board or something like that, and then keep this the way it is, I guess. Oh, we can turn this into a then, right? We can say check bingo then. Or is it, yeah, it's just then. And then we can get rid of the sum. Why is that not going away? Oh. No. I was just confused. There we go. So we can do that. That's a little bit nicer, because it actually reads like English. Check for bingo, then return the score. You just have to know that then is only done if we got a bingo. You abuse bool then in your AOC? Well, there we go. I'm doing it too. This is like the single useful case of then. Yeah, because I don't like when I'll tell you exactly what it is. I don't like when we have both a conditional and the use of explicit sum and none. In my mind, it's like that is redundant, because sum and none are like distinguishing between two possibilities, but so is the if. So why don't we? So I see in my mind is we're combining the two together. We're saying ultimately we are returning an option, and so whether it's sum or none, it depends on this check. And the then is really just in a sense it's just mapping. That's why sometimes I'll do a map there, and maybe some might argue could be called a map, because if it's true, then you're mapping the truth to some value, right? And if it's false, then it's none, because there is no. But maybe that's why they don't call it a map, because, yeah. Anyway, I see it like a map. We're mapping the true or false to either a value or lack of a value through the option. What the hell do you want What the hell? Why do you have an option? Oh, for Musen's thing? Wouldn't option unit be the equivalent of bool? Only maybe it's more useful because option has methods that bool doesn't. Yeah, but Musen's got a lot of creative solutions. Anti-fun times with optimization level Z and thin LTO, for example. Oh, the talking about the conditional logic and optimization. It can't and shouldn't because it can't tell which path is more likely. Well, it could if you profile it. What is that called? Profile guided optimization, where you run your program with real world use cases, and then that feeds back into the optimizer, and it says, okay, well, this branch is 99% more likely, so I'll arrange it so that it's optimized. It doesn't actually flush the instruction cache or something. All 50 puzzles are going to be one expression. So that's a great challenge to try to achieve. I love it. For me, I'm just having fun. I have enough challenge in my life. This is just having fun time. All right, so then can I do it more here? Oh, right. There was somewhere here, was it in part 2, where I said to myself it could have just been another where was it? Where I used this 0.5. Where did I already got rid of it, I guess. Or was that in day 3? I can't remember. No, it was day 4. I must have gotten rid of it already. This is 5 everywhere. One nice thing maybe would be to say bingo board size and make that a constant. This is just like basic good things to do, right? And probably we have some other 5s in here, right here. Do I have any more 5s? There's another one. Don't search for the constant, search for the number 5. Okay, that was it. This is all common. So up to the point where we're drawing things, it's all common, right? So why don't I extract that as a function? I don't do this enough. I don't extract into functions enough. So we'll call this parse games. Parse bingo games. Sure. So this becomes a use size, right? No, it's not. Why did it put that character there? It's actually a impl iterator item equals I32, I think. Plus implicit lifetime. Very complex type. Cargo clippy, or clippy, stuff it. It is kind of complex though, but I'm just doing that so that I can avoid the memory allocation of storing a copy of all the draws, because it's not necessary. We just parse based off of the slices and we're good to go, right? Yeah, that's why we had to do this implicit lifetime, because it doesn't know where I'm borrowing from. Now we're basically, this is saying it's got the same lifetime as the input string, which is true. Oh, you're saying why it didn't fill that in? Yeah, because it wasn't. This is making a bit of a leap. This is saying that this is the actual trait that I wanted it to implement. How do we say this better? That the actual type here is the implementation of a trait. Okay, I don't know how to say it. Maybe A Squared could, or Musin could say it better. Wait a minute, Musin, you had to use clone? How could you? Opaque trait object? But this is monomorph. What is the word? It's not a trait object. This actually gets compiled to an actual type where it's used, right? It gets used here, so it actually... Oh, no, it doesn't have an actual type. Interesting. Shouldn't it know the actual type is map, split, char, all that? That's the actual type right there. Shouldn't it know that by the fact that I returned it there? I thought this was just a way to tell the compiler, oh, you'll figure it out. Whatever draws is, this is just its requirement. But when it compiles it knows the exact type of draws. Shouldn't it know it at this point? Maybe it's just that Rust Analyzer doesn't know. Rust Analyzer can't see that far ahead, but the compiler will know. Voldemort type is the IRLO name for it in real life. Yeah, does it erase the type? I didn't think it erased the type. Because there can only be one type. For it to be more than one type to erase it, wouldn't we have to box it? Okay, maybe I don't know enough about. I need to learn this before I do the video on it for sure. Okay, so then if A Squared's right, then I'm wrong. This is erasing the type, and so when it gets out to the caller, where was it? Right here. The compiler doesn't even know that it is this map split char with that function that maps the slice into a number. It doesn't even know that anymore. It makes an anonymous struct with that specific set of trait notations. It is just a single real type, but it acts as if it only implements that trait and nothing. Okay, so it sort of pseudo erases the type. It kind of hides the type behind some anonymous type. So it's kind of like syntactic sugar then, really. Basically an unnameable type that only has a specific set of methods. Oh, it's called a Voldemort type? I didn't even know that. Interesting. See, I gotta make a point to learn this better. Anyway, how do I quiet Clippy here? I guess I can just say that this is... just because we're having fun, we can call it Voldemort. And here I would have to call it trait. Is it that? Or is it... I can't remember. Is it that? And then I can just say it returns a Voldemort. No. Oh, I guess I can't do that. Okay, forget it. I don't know enough. I'm not trained enough to make that. I'm not a master at Rust yet. Yeah, I was gonna make a super trait or an alias for this if I can, but then I don't know I don't know enough how to handle that. Anyway, we're not gonna bother with that. Let's move on. I will just tell Clippy to be quiet about this. Because it has no better suggestion, right? To do, what do we say about this? Actually, I guess maybe it would stop complaining if I called that boards. I know how to do that part. Hold on, then let's try that. Let's make an alias called boards. And then we can just say it returns boards. Oh, yeah, that was enough. So then I don't need that. Oh, I'm lost. Yeah, there it is. So it's just this is still complex, but this is makes it not too much longer, and then it fits better. Well, I thought it was complaining about the overall length. So yeah, maybe it was complaining about the fact that this is pretty complex, pretty nested. So, and it's probably a good idea to do this. In fact, I should probably do this. Right? And call that a board. It's too bad that the inlay hint doesn't say boards. We could force it to do that by making it a new type, I suppose. But I don't care. I don't want to do that right now. Because it's just the inlay hint that looks bad. 3 vectors, yeah. Well, a board is a 2-dimensional vector. That's how we would, that's one way we could do it. Another way would be to, what? Do it like in C, where it's 1 dimension, and then we just combine the dimensions together with some maths. Wonder why that inlay hint doesn't know the alias? I don't know. It's dumb. Okay, I mixed my parts with my functions. Let's actually put them before parts 1 and 2. And just out, because I've been having this habit of sorting the functions alphabetically. Do it like that. So there's checking for bingo. Oh, and then could I just have like T here, where T is as ref? No. It would be cool. Oh, no, I can say like board as... How do we do this? Is there a way you can say like, I want something like board as, like as ref board. I don't know how to write this. I don't know how to write it. That's what I want. I want to say like, I don't want to say reference to a board because that is not a slice. Really, I want to slice the board. In fact, it's going to tell me that it should be a slice. But how do I do it with by still using the word board? I don't know how to do that. I can make it a little bit better by calling it calling this inner one a cell. In fact, I should probably make this a real type so that we don't have these dot zeros and dot ones everywhere. Impl as ref board? Don't think you do. The 1D approach causes problems because you have to fix constants to do it. Well, we could make methods to index it. So we could make a new type. We could do, you know, struct board that, and then we can make methods on board. You know, we can reduce this to single dimension, and then we can make methods to manipulate the board given an x and a y, which would do x time or y times board bingo board size plus x, stuff like that, right? You know, another thing is these don't need to be vexed. They could be fixed arrays too, right? There's no real reason I used vectors, was there? Maybe when I was building the board. Where do we do that? Right here? Yeah, because I was lazy. I was building it 1 row at a time. But at least, can I collect this into an array? And then make this an array of 5 cells. Let me see what I can do here. So we'll do it with types. Type row is that, and that is a row, right? So can I now change this to be 5 cells? Well, bingo board size cells. Well, let me do that. Oh, I forgot to put cell here. And then I should put row here. I just have to change some of my types, right? It doesn't like this because of the... If I let it infer that type, it doesn't know how to do that. Oh, we can't build an array from an iterator? Because we can't. Oh, that sucks. Why is that? Is that just something that they don't have in the language yet? Because conceptually, you should be able to collect into an array, right? You know the size of the array. You would just fill that in. Collect would fill in an array, right? Well, the array has a known size, so shouldn't collect be able to handle that? Oh, it's not known at compile time? Really? I thought with that it knows the size at compile time. It's not a slice we're talking about an array. What happens if the iterator is empty? I would expect collect to panic if the size didn't exactly match. Is that the problem though? That subtlety is something that they didn't want to have to deal with? Because that's what I would do. I would make this, if it's not exactly 5 elements, it's a panic. There's got to be some kind of thing I can get it to adapt it. Can we just do the iterator and just return? Okay, here's what I'll do. I will say let column cells equal this, and then we will say cells.next 5 times. Whoops. That's what happens when I hit the wrong key. Can we say that? Yeah. I can say that, right? Yeah, that'll work. But it's sort of gross that we have to do that. Maybe we could have a macro to fix that. 1, 2, 3. That's not enough. There we go. I'm surprised it didn't give me... because there are other compiler errors. These are options, right? They are options. We want to unwrap that. So that's the panic I was mentioning a little bit ago. And this needs to be mutable. This is what I would expect collect to do, but I guess it's hard to do that because it would need to know the exact number of times to do it at compile time, right? Exact size iterator is still problematic because nothing can assume that it's implemented correctly. And now we're getting into the real nitty-gritty details. But this allows me to avoid having a vector, like we could just deal with an array directly. I don't know, is this better or worse? I kind of feel like it should be better. Okay, this should be board. Comma. Okay, I mean, it's going all the way down to here. It's just plays the wrong type. No? What did it not like about it? Okay, so my board isn't the right shape. Right, because I need to modify this. So I really need to refactor this part out now. Oh, wait, I already did. I just needed to call it. So part 1 calls it. We just need part 2 to call it. Yeah, I just forgot to do that part. Part 2 needs to call it. There we go. I think that compiles. Let's run the tests to make sure I didn't break it. There we go. You know what I ought to have done is profile it, then make all these changes, and then profile it again. I forgot. Okay, so now the types are all kind of collected up here. It's a little bit easier to read because of that, and this is the only wrinkle in forming the rows of the boards. I guess the last thing would be that to make this an array, but then I'd have the same problem down. I couldn't have this builder pattern of, well, I could make a builder. But yeah, I still have this vector everywhere. Enter skip or take while or skip while or step by, but those discard. Hmm. What's the iterator method that advances, let's say, by 1 or 2, so you don't have to call next X? That would be nth or skip, right? Probably nth is what you want. Returns the nth element, so it's the equivalent of skipping a few times and then doing next. Or, yeah, you just skip if you were just going to drop them. So skip n is just like doing next, 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 and then keeping the last one. You want to start iterating from 3? Yeah, you just do skip 3. You would take your iterator and do skip 3, and then take 3 to get 3, 4, and 5, I guess, right? Isn't that what take for iterator? Yeah, so it returns you a new iterator that would just return those last 3. If there was like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you just wanted 3, 4, 5, you do skip 3, take 3. Yeah. Yep. Okay. 10:30. It's a Friday. I kind of do want to push this all the way to arrays if I can. I can't do it with boards because we don't know how many boards we have to deal with, but we know this should be 5. I really want to get this so I can use this constant, so it's really constrained and the sizes are well known of all of our boards. What do I have to do for that? I think it's in this parsing, right? Because it had to do with this comparison here, right? So how do we fix this? Oh, wouldn't I just do a take 5 and then do one of these at the end? So, and this could be done, this skipping empty lines could be done with a filter. So we could do let boards, yeah, let's try this. Let boards equal lines dot map string trim dot filter line where line not line is empty. And then here's where it gets difficult. I need something that will take an iterator and then return an iterator of groups of 5. I don't know how to do that. I guess we could do a for loop and then each yeah, so I can just say boards is that, and then we can say loop boards equal let next board equal what I need to do is refactor this part out into another function, right? And then call it 5 times in a loop in an array similar to that. Yeah, so let me do that. Let's refactor that out. So this is make row. And so instead of pushing, it's that. Right, that, right? What's wrong? Well, what did I do wrong here? Oh, it's probably the syntax errors are above here. Make row. Yeah, so it's just make row lines dot next dot unwrap 5 times. And then actually how would we know when to stop? It's if I guess I can do it this way. Let first line first line equal that if first line dot is none, break. This should have been let boards again equal break. I got my names all screwed up. This should just be lines again. We should just keep this outer vector. And then I don't need an assignment here. Break out of here, and then instead of saying next board, we just say boards dot push that. Like that. And then that, right? This needs to be mutable. Yeah, that'll work, right? Make sure I didn't break it. I did break it. I panicked. Okay, I panicked. I broke it. How did I break it? Oh, right here. This should be first line. Yeah. I thought I did. Yeah. Okay, that was it. That could be a filter into an extend if you want to be fancy. I do want to be fancy. Let me think about that. It's the fact that I have this weird way of breaking out of the loop that prevents me from just doing this as what did you say? An extend? Extend will stop at the first none. I see. I see. So you would say just boards dot extend none else. Will it work this way? I don't know. Is this gonna work? That? Oops. What did I do wrong here? This has to be an iterator though, so don't I have to make this inside an iterator implementation of some kind? Something that wraps this lines into another iterator that when you call next it does that. That's what I need to do. So something like struct line iterator, and it has what happened there? It has this iterator on it. We're gonna have some lifetime because I have lines here, which is I guess actually we have a T here. Iterator item equals string. I'm probably doing this horribly. That's only on their impl blocks, right? And okay, we do need an explicit lifetime. And that goes first, right? And then I can rename this line. And then I can have implement iterator for line iterator. A. Do I have to repeat this whole thing? Like that? No, I just need to say this, right? Implement missing members. Our item is a what we want out of this, right? So we want to actually this is not a lines iterator, it's a board. So board iterator. Language is Rust, Twitcher Games. But we're far past getting the solution. So we're doing advent of code. If the title doesn't make that clear. And this is the rank that I'm usually getting each day that I'm actually able to do it live. So we get 2 programming puzzles every day, December 1st to 25th. And I wasn't able to do day 3 on time. So I did day 3 before the stream started. And then day 4 tonight. So we had 2 puzzles. You can do any language you want. I picked Rust. There's lots of other streams out there who do it in different languages. So I got the solutions out, and now I'm spending a lot of extra time after we got the solutions to the problems, just kind of refining the solution and trying out like exotic things like our own iterators. What did I not like about this name? Lines is not an iterator. Did I confuse it by trying to change the name? No, I screwed this up somehow. So what did I do? Is it just this item is wrong? It should be like that, right? No, I did something wrong. We're at the bike shedding stage. That's exactly right. You never understood lifetimes? I understand enough about them to get myself into trouble. What did I do wrong here? Oh, do I need to have this constraint on this side? Or this side? That's where it is, yeah. This is where it gets really, like when you start doing generics, especially generics with lifetimes, it gets really hairy in Rust. But I suggest getting this working and then buttoning it up. It'll look nice. When we use this type, it'll look nicer, I swear. Okay, so then the whole intent is to take this and put it into the next here. And we have to put self in front. Macro cannot be found because I screwed up the syntax, but we'll fix that in a second. The self lines goes in front. There, 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 and there. And I'm missing some other syntax. There. All right, so then we can just wrap this into a line iterator. Right? I can just say it's a line iterator. And then extend lines. Right? Almost. What did I do wrong? Expected a function. Oh, I didn't make a constructor for it. So let's do that. Impl. Guess we have to repeat all this. Actually, do I need to repeat all of that? Can I just say that? I don't need a 4. We do have to repeat that, I guess. I guess I have to repeat all of it. Fine. But I really just want to say function new, returning a self, and it needs to take lines. And it's self lines. And then I can say down here it's new. There we go. And it doesn't need to be mutable anymore. In fact, we don't even need to have it a name. We can actually just put it in here. And then get rid of that. Expected. Oh, this is not lines. It's no, it is. What's wrong with this? This needs to be I'm not a Rust god. Musen's the Rust god. You should watch him. Make it a tuple struct. I know, but I wanted to hide that in there. What did I do? What's the wrong? It's expecting a line iterator. Found parameter lines. Oh, I know what I did. I got confused. That's the return value. That's the constructor, so to speak. Right? All right, now we're good. What's about this one? You checked before that unwrap cannot fail. Instead of checking, it's better if you use if let. Oh yeah, we can do that now. We can say if let sum first line equal self lines next. Then it's actually we can do better than that. We can say self lines next dot map first line. Actually, I don't know if I can do that because we're going to use self twice. It's probably going to complain about a lifetime thing, right? Let me see. It probably is going to complain. You can use the question mark operator. I always forget to do that. You guys are great at teaching me these things. I forgot that. Yeah, we don't need to unwrap that anymore. Oh, it did let me do it. There we go. I was worried that because we're borrowing self here and we're not done with the function call, that inside of the lambda that we gave to map, that it would say, oh, wait a minute, you're borrowing self lines twice. Let me make sure it's still passing my tests. And then I'll learn from you guys about the question mark operator again. I'm comfortable with the question mark operator for result, but not for option. So you're saying that it'll early return, so I can just, what, say self.lines.next and then put a question mark there and then get rid of all of this stuff? Like that? Or put sum in front here, probably. That's what you guys are saying, right? I can do that? Is that too obscure, though? When someone's reading this, that's a single character, which is very significant. It's basically saying, if the first line is none, then the whole thing's none. But if we get a first line, then we have to get 4 more to form a whole board. Is that too subtle for a new programmer in Rust to get? Or would that be fine? The lifetime on the slice in that map is the same as the one on self. Hold on, what are you saying, Musen? A comment should explain the first line is optional? Yeah. It's some shady programming? Yeah. Hey there, where is X? Is this a machine language? No, this is Rust. It just kind of looks funky. But what are you saying, Musen, about the lifetime on the string in the map is the same as the one from self? Oh, you're saying, like, why is this not a borrow issue? Because this lifetime is the same as the items coming out of the iterator? Yeah. So now we don't even have that. But yeah, so before you were saying no lifetime issue here because the lifetimes are all the same, right? Yeah. Oh, where's X is rating me? Cool. Is that what that wave means? Ocean? Raid incoming? Thank you for the warning, I guess. Hello, everybody. We're just bike shedding my solution to Advent of Code Day 4, 2021. What was your stream focused on? Where is X? I hope you had a good stream. Or are you also doing Advent of Code? That's what we've been doing. AOC, Advent of Code. All of the calls that will have the same lifetime in that case. Okay, because it extends from the outer self. Yeah, that subtlety I haven't quite mastered yet, Musin. So everybody who's coming in, I've been doing solutions to Advent of Code 2021 in Rust. I consider myself still a student, intermediate level Rust, whereas folks like Sarian and Musin who are in chat, they're the masters. Like, they've done this longer than I have. Some of them actually work on the compiler. It's pretty cool. So when you see in chat when they're talking about really fine points of Rust, learn from these people, but don't expect to understand them at first. It takes me a few times and then it finally sinks in. You did day one in Rust like you had to steal the input parsing code from someone else. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair. You just did some Advent code. What language did you do it in? I have some friends who are picking a different language for each day, and I have Musin in chat is going to be doing every solution without any semicolons in Rust, so basically no statements, but all one long expression for every solution. See lifetimes in your eyes glaze over. We have a lifetime here because we're borrowing a string. We're parsing through a string without making copies of the bits of the string. So the problem was for day 4, was you get this as a huge string and you're supposed to like parse it into all the little bits. So this first line, these are the numbers that you're going to play in bingo, and these numbers are all the bingo boards, and the puzzle is basically figure out which board is going to win first and then what the score is, right? And they give you an equation on how to compute the score based off of the winning board state. But this whole part that we're bike shedding right now is how do we go from this sequence of characters to 3 boards, and the boards are all arrays of arrays. So yeah, now that I have these types separated out, it's a little bit easier to see, I think. All 3 of these is a vector of boards. A board is an array of rows. A row is an array of cells. And a cell is just, I decided to have it a number and a flag based off of like when you are drawing numbers, you have to remember which ones have already been drawn and which ones haven't. So in here they use bold or not bold to indicate that. In my code I have a true or false thing, right? So this type I made is how we go from the input lines of text to forming an entire board. So we're saying like if you have an iteration or a loop, you can think of it as a loop where we're gonna get another row of numbers each time we loop. Then if we get one here, we get 4 more and we form it into the complete board, if that makes sense. And make row is doing a similar thing, but for the individual cells of the board. And each individual cell you have to, you get by splitting, there's white space between, so you split by white space. And then we just chop off the excess white. I probably don't need to do the trim, but I'm doing it anyway. That chops off excess white space, and then parse says interpret it as I32. And here's where Musin will probably tell me I could use a from string, probably, because that probably just works. If I maybe not. But there's a way you can do it with from string, and then unwrap will crash if it's not a number, and these will crash if we are missing some cells in the row. But if everything is working, then all 5 numbers gets separated from each other, turned into numbers, and then put into a nice array, which is what this row is. With this false on the end. That's sort of hidden in there. You need from string trim. Oh, we need to turn it inside out, you mean? I30, you're right. You're saying I would need to do I32 from string, trim it, and then unwrap. We don't need the unwrap anymore, right? Hold on. There's something that we're missing. I need to use the from... Whoops. I need to use the from string trait. I hate doing this, but we'll do it just for education's sake. It's saying to bring in that function, we have to pull it in from the standard library, and we don't have to name it. That's what that trick is there. Right? And then, yeah, because... Actually, why does it complaining about this? I got the type wrong then, right? Oh, this also... Right. This also has to be unwrapped. I prematurely removed the unwrap, because it can fail too. Yeah, so that's another way to do what we had before, which is just trim and then parse. Actually, I kind of like this because it reads from left to right in the order in which we're doing it. We're taking the number, we're trimming off the excess white space, we're parsing it as an I32, and then unwrap in Rust basically says, it had better have worked or have given us something, or we're going to crash right here. They call it panic, but it's the same thing. You can do I30, but that's just using turbofish, Musin. To not import the trait, to get rid of some... I know, it's all for a good cause. You're right, I have an evil semicolon here. We were saying before, every time I use a semicolon, it's like a point against us, or like a stroke in the game of golf, right? So if I ended up with using 5 semicolons, it's like it took me 5 extra strokes to get the golf ball in the hole, and yeah. That's why parse exists, for readability. Makes sense. So we don't need... Oh, the undo already got rid of it. All right, anyway. Now that I've thoroughly confused everybody, I'm really just kind of refining and playing around with the code that we already made. I wish I could post this somewhere. Showing it in the live stream is the closest I can get, though. I think I bike shedded this day to death. Maybe we go to day 3 and clean that up a bit. Oh, here's something I might want to fix. This was... Right, this was discarding boards until we don't have any more, and then we just return the score of the last winner. That was the condition of part 2. I guess we leave it. The inlay hints make it look more complicated than it is. Actually, maybe we could use reduce instead of fold new, right? Let me think about this. No, we still need to push onto something, so... Yeah, I think I'm done looking at this. Let me look at day 3. Let me remind myself what day 3 was about. Day 3, which we did tonight. Oh, this is the binary stuff, right? Yeah, we get a bunch of binary numbers, and then we have to, like, count bits and junk. Yeah, this took me an hour to do, so... Can I make it look a little nicer? Nothing is standing out as being obvious. Difficult part from part 1 to 2 was non-existent on day 4, but on 3 it was completely different. Fairly new coder and learning Rust at the moment. Just let me say the hints that compiler gives you when doing something wrong. So I know. Most of the time, Sala, Twirzel. Sometimes, though, when you get into asynchronous programming and lifetimes, the compiler still has some ways to go to help you. I found it really frustrating at times. But yeah, for a lot of the stuff you'll run into at first, it's really useful. I don't know, I'm getting kind of tired. But it's a Friday night, so we have a lot of previous puzzles I could do if I really want. So there's like, this is what's kind of cool about Advent of Code. If you don't care about getting to the leaderboard by being the fastest to solve the puzzles, you can do it any of the previous years at any time. So I've been going through 2016, like when I just want to chill or get warmed up to do the current year's puzzles. So I could do one of these puzzles. The one thing I didn't do is I didn't look at the actual leaderboard for today, what it looked like. Okay, so that's a mark of how the difficulty went up for day 4. If you compare it to like day 2, people got both part 1 and part 2 done in under a minute and a half. But when you get up to day 4, it took them 4.5 minutes. So 3 times as complicated. 3 minutes as opposed to less than a minute for the first part. What about day 3? So day 3 was also pretty complicated for people. I still would not have scored in the top 100 though, because it took me 30 minutes or so. 2016 calendar was cool. I think everyone who learns to code should. I think everyone who learned to code should, to them, it's pretty good practices for problem solving. Oh, I should give these a try. Yeah, you did this or something like Lead Code, where you can pick the difficulty level, and it's a combination of coding and algorithm development. Rusty is getting better with its error messages, yeah. Oh, there's an actual site for looking at the relative times on the leaderboard? That's cool. Took you a while, you'll never make the top. Yeah, you have to be there at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, whatever your time zone you're in. It could be like 4 in the morning for you or whatever. And you have to like be ready and have like a lot of things in advance ready to go so you can like quickly jump to the solution. That's the only way to get to the top 100. Yeah, it must suck for people who want to compete on this leaderboard but are in time zones where it's like 11 a.m. and like, well, we have jobs. Like, I can't just stop working just to compete with this. Or like 3 in the morning. Brutal. But that's the only way they can be fair with this leaderboard, right? Because otherwise people could cheat. If it opened up for everyone at midnight and just rotated around the world somehow, how would they keep people from cheating? Let me do let's do day 4 from 2016. So let me make on the 2016 directory some day 4 stuff, just because I'm having fun and I don't want to stop. We'll just do one more day. Hopefully I won't get stuck on this. Plus, it's good to show the people who rated after I finished today's, like, some actual streaming of doing the problem live. So we'll do this for the raters, right? So just making all of the files we need for placing the code. There are lots of ways you could do this. I'm kind of lazy about it. There are even libraries you can download with Rust that people have made that do all of the setting up for you and getting the input and handling the output, but I'm not doing it fancy like that. I'm just hand coding most of it. So there's a little bit of prep work where I have to make a file that's going to run our code. So now if I do cargo run 4-1, okay, so now it's got the old code from day 3, so we can delete that and then put in the actual day 4 code. So let's do that. Day 4, security through obscurity. Oh, I should mention, all of these puzzles are Christmas themed, so if they look kind of cheesy or contrived, they're trying to fit to the theme. And 2016 was about that what was it? I guess we have to go to the very first day. It was that, what? The stars have been stolen by the Easter Bunny. That's the premise of 2016. And Santa wants you to retrieve those stars, the 50 stars. So each puzzle part is one of the stars, right? We collect them by solving the puzzle. See, we've been airdropped near Easter Bunny headquarters, and we're working our way through to collect all the stars that the Easter Bunny has stolen. So here we are. We've come across an information kiosk with a list of rooms. Of course, the list is encrypted and full of decoy data, but the instructions to decode the list are barely hidden nearby. Wait, the instructions to decode the list are barely hidden nearby? Like they're hidden but not very well? Better remove the decoy data first. Each room consists of an encrypted name, lowercase letters separated by dashes, followed by a dash, a sector ID, and a checksum in square brackets. A room is real if the checksum is the first 5 common letters in the encrypted name in order with ties broken by alphabetization. For example, this is a real room because the most common letters are A, B, and then a tie between X, Y, and Z, which are listed alphabetically. Okay, I think I understand that. The checksum is the 5 most common letters in the encrypted name. I'm guessing part 2 is going to be we're going to decrypt these names, right? So this is a real room because although they're tied, they're all listed alphabetically. Got it. So that's a real room because O is the most common letter followed by A. Okay, got it. This one is not because D is not the first common letter. Got it. Of the real rooms above, there's some of their sector IDs, which is the number before the checksum, is 1514. So what I do is I take that 1514 and say that's what the test should evaluate the test input to be. And looks like we got to enter them manually, so let's do that now. It's too bad they didn't have these all lined up for us. Totally real room 200. And we'll line these up. Okay, so here are the 4 example rooms. We're supposed to find out which ones are real and take the sum of their sector IDs, so it would be these 3 add up to that number. Let's do it. So first thing we got to do is split the basically the puzzle input's going to be a bunch of lines of text, so we're going to want to split this up. Input.lines, and then from each line we want to find where the checksum starts, so that's that special character, right? I don't know why I keep hitting Alt-Tab. You remember the 2016 day 4? Yeah, this one. So, well, we can do this from the outside in. So every line is a room, and let's say that we're going to do some kind of filter map. We're going to filter out the false rooms and map the real rooms to the sector ID. So line is going to do something, which is to do. And then, given those sector IDs, we are supposed to do what with them? To sum them up, so sum, and then we need it to be a string, so toString. All right, and then, so sum works on integer types, so let's just put something in here for now. It's like sum 0. I guess we have to give it a type. Yeah, I guess I have to just say I64. So then I can just put a 0 there. Just to have some placeholder. And let's mark this to do, because we're not doing part 2 yet. So this will compile, but we're not quite done, because this is just a placeholder here. So with that line, we kind of want to get the prefix, right? Strip prefix, right? Or is it strip suffix? Or maybe just split. split at that open bracket. So let we're gonna split multiple times. So we're gonna split there. We're gonna split at the last. We're gonna split at the dashes, and the last one is a score, not a name. And we're also gonna want to trim that character off. So let's just say like first and last equal that. Do I have to unwrap that, or these? Let's turn on inlay so we can see what we're doing. Okay, put to do here so that the syntax errors don't confuse me. Oh, it's not split at, it's just split. It's a special split though, right? Is it split n? I can never remember which one this is. Split once? I think it's split once. Yeah. If you can't remember, then what I do is I go to the Rust docs, doc.rust-lang.org, and just type in like split, and you'll eventually find what you're looking for. So there are like multiple splits, right? And we ended up finding it was split once. How come split once isn't in this list? Is it one of those special ones where it comes from a different trait? I can't remember. It should be in this list. I don't know why I don't see it. But yeah, sometimes you have to look things up. Yeah, there it is. I don't know what I was looking at before. What was I looking at before? Slice. So this is actually a string specific one, not generic for all slices. Yeah, that cheat sheet's really good. I use that a lot. That's what is on my quick links here for Cheats 1. Yeah, that's really nice. And I have a Cheats 2 also. I think it's made by the same guy, but like this is more like pick your poison. I want generics and constraints. There we go. Like this one. I always forget this one. The outlives, like you just have to memorize this. Take B, take A means the B lifetime outlives A. Yeah, anyway, cheat sheets are good for this language. Anyway, okay, these are both options. I wish I could just unwrap both of them. I guess we'll just do it here. I kind of want to handle the last first. Let last equal last dot unwrap. And then I want to trim. How do we select the all but the last character? Gosh, I don't know. I guess prefix, strip suffix. Is that right? Suffix of that unwrap. I think that's the function I want. A lot of the stuff is just like get used to using these functions and you remember. Oh, is that experimental? Wait a minute. Is it going to tell me that I'm using an experimental function? Experimental. I don't like that. Then what's the non-experimental one that I always use? It's just strip suffix. Yeah, then I don't need the of. I don't know why I put the of in there. Say what? Expected and enum. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so it should sure. Can I just say, I guess I'll just have to do it this way. If let sum equal that. Actually, what am I thinking? I just need an unwrap. Yeah. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. So we don't have to unwrap that. I just had the unwrap in the wrong spot. Okay. So then the first part, I got to split it on dashes. So let, I guess, parts equal first dot split on dashes. And then I guess I could just make this easy on myself by collecting them immediately into a vector. And then taking the last off of that vector. So let they call it sector ID. ID equals parts dot last. Why is that an option? Oh, because it could be empty. Unwrap. Can you just do pop? Does pop take the last one off or the front? Removes the last element. That's actually what we want. Unwrap. And then parse it as I64. Unwrap that. A lot of unwraps. There's a lot of unwrapping that we have to do. Okay. So then what we have left after that are the strings. So really we just need to compute that checksum, which is we find the first 5 most common letters. So I really don't need to, the dashes in between don't really matter, right? Split terminator is also really nice. Is that what I could have done rather than the strip suffix? Yeah, so the inner dashes don't really matter, right? So I could have just done a split. Well, split once takes the first hit, not the last. Okay, and anyway, I think I'll do it this way. Let mute frequency equals hash map new. Import hash map. All right. For cin parts dot care map iter map word dot, actually I guess I can just say string dot colon chars flatten. Then I should get, oh, that didn't work. It won't give you an empty third element. I see. Yeah, that's true. It'll panic if I write the code incorrectly. That's really what those unwraps are for. I guess this can just be into Iterator then. Yes, so then for every character, we want to say frequency dot entry of that character, or insert with 0 plus equal 1, right? And then put a star in front. It didn't like 0. Why not? Oh, or insert 0. Right. So that's basically saying take all of the parts, like the AA, BB, whatever, and then put it into an iterator, and then for everything in the iteration, break that into characters, so we have 2 levels of iteration, and then flattens it back down to just an iteration of characters. Take each character, look up that entry in the frequency map, and if it's not there already, insert as a 0, and then increment. So that'll count all the characters, and then I did this wrong because I don't want to use a hash map, right? Don't I? Oh no, hash map will work. I just need to iterate the values. I need to iterate the keys and values and sort them. to find the largest. Unless is there a container in Rust we can use that does a priority queue kind of a thing? We just do it this way. We'll just turn frequent into a different type. Frequency dot into iter dot. We're gonna mutate this one too. Map. Actually, don't we just want to collect that into a vector of stuff? So it's just a vector of characters and frequencies, and then we just want to sort them. So frequency dot unstable sort unstable by, and then given a character and a frequency, we want to say, oh no, it's not that. It's like left and right, right? So A, B. Sort by if A.1 is greater than B.1, right? It expects an ordering, so just I always get my Rust on my C++ confused, so it wants me to use like the comparison function, and we need to borrow on the extreme right end. Okay. I forget if that will sort it lowest to highest or highest to lowest, but I can always reverse it if I'm wrong, right? Anyway, now that it's sorted, we want to take the first 5 of them, and that's the checksum. So let check equal frequency into iter, take 5, and if we just want to collect those into a string, right? Can I just collect into a string? Well, let me do that. I don't think it will. String cannot be built over an iterator of, oh, I need to map, I don't need the frequency anymore. So map the character and the frequency to just the character. And that is a tuple. There we go. Cool. So then the filter is if the checksum equals the ID. No. If the last is the checksum. So if last equals check, then it is the ID that we want, right? Sum ID. Actually, yeah, let's just keep it like this for now. Else none. So if it matches the checksum, then we keep it and we return the ID field, and then that gets summed down here. So let's see if I got it right. Nope, I have compiler errors. What did I do wrong? Wait, what? Am I in the wrong year? I'm in the right year. Oh, it is unstable. So I use something that's unstable. What? Oh, that was just the U's that it didn't like. And I guess these should be characters, not slices. All right. I must have accidentally, like, yeah, it was when I did strip, like, suffix of, I was accidentally using a unstable feature. Don't need that frequency, so I'll put an underscore in front. I'm just getting rid of all the warnings and stuff. I guess I don't really need to. And we don't need that. It's dead code. Run that test. All right, I'm off. Okay, it didn't pass any of our checksums, so I might have gotten this completely backwards. So just to check, let's debug those frequencies and let's see what we get. Wrong. I ran the wrong thing there. There we go. All right. Yeah, I have them from lowest to highest. I need it from highest to lowest, so I need to loop it back. Also, the comparison needs to handle when they're equal, right? They said sort them alphabetically if they're equal. So that's it's kind of hard to see. So we'll do that so it's easier to see. So I need to flip it around, I guess, and I guess we need to match that, because if they're equal, we need to do a little extra thing, right? What? Hold on, I messed it up somehow. Match. Fill match arms. There we go. All right. It's kind of hard to see because it's covered by chat. Actually, I'll just close this so you can see it. All right. So then, if it's less or greater, actually, I could just put it back the way it was. If it's less, it's less, right? If it's greater, it's greater. But if it's equal, then we need to compare the actual characters. So that would be b.0.compare a.0. I'm still debugging it, so let's run the test to make sure I got it right, and we'll look at the actual sortings. No, I still got it wrong. But they are... Oh, the space got in there somehow. That's the problem. I didn't get rid of the spaces. And these are not sorted correctly. It should be alphabetical or not reverse alphabetical order. Okay, so I need to reverse the alphabetical order. So that's A and B, and then I need to figure out how spaces got in there. Let me do a debug of the parts to see what we got. Sorry, I'm not kind of watching chat. Chat tends to give me answers right away, and I'm trying to figure out by myself. Oh, our input's bad. Our input's got a whole bunch of spaces in front. Oh yeah, after splitting them into lines, I got to trim. I forgot to trim. So this should be line trim split once. Right? Yeah, now we're passing. And so you can see we've counted all like the L's, the O's. L comes before O in the alphabet, so it's first. Yep. It looks good. So we can remove the debugging now. Can remove this. And this... So this took me a bit longer than it probably should have, but we can get the puzzle input. I already clicked that and I forgot. I want to copy that and make a file called for.txt and paste our input in there, and then do cargo run for 1. Uh-oh. We got a panic, so I unwrapped something incorrectly. Line 13. Oh, probably because I am still using 3.txt, not 4.txt. Okay. I made that mistake more than once. Okay, so it gave us an output number. Let's test it. First time? Yes. That's the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer to fixing the sleigh. Continue to part 2. With all the decoy data out of the way, it's time to encrypt this list and get moving. See, I knew it. They wanted us to decrypt it, so this should be an easy part, right? Thank you for the star. I just noticed that your name sounds like aneurysm. With a 9. The room names are encrypted by a state-of-the-art shift cipher, which is nearly unbreakable without the right software. However, the information kiosk designers at Easter Bunny headquarters were not expecting to deal with a master cryptographer like yourself. To decrypt a room name, rotate each letter forward through the alphabet a number of times equal to the room's sector ID. A becomes B, B becomes C, etc. And so on. Dashes become spaces. For example, the real name for that is very encrypted name. Okay. Spaces dashes become spaces. That's fine. We will just join with a space at the end. Okay, so this is not too hard. North Pole objects. Oh. Hold on. So we have to look for the room named North Pole objects? I guess so. So then we can't use our example input anymore, can we? I guess what we'll do is make the test for 2 actually just test a decryption function, which we'll use in part 2. So the test for part 2 will be the decryption of that is this. And I want to put it into the form that we have it in parts here after we pop them off. So that is a vector of slices. So this would be vec of slices. So every dash here becomes a slice like that. And instead of part 2 inner, it's decrypt. All right, so then, and this won't be a slice coming out, it'll be a string, so we want to make it the type match. Okay, so let's make a function decrypt. It takes in, it doesn't need to take in the vector, it can take in a slice, right? So we can say, I don't remember if I need to do that, but we'll do it anyway. It's going to take in parts as a slice of slices of strings, right? It's going to return us a new string. Okay, and so ultimately we want to take those parts, do something to them. Which we haven't yet decided, and then the end we want to join them with a space. I think that's how it's done. And then that should work. What is it not like about map? Do I have to iterate the slice? I guess I do. And then join. Is it, I forget how join works. I always get this wrong. ROT 343 state of the art in 2016. You don't have to explicitly slice a slice. The only time you have to do it is for vec string where deref coercion isn't going your way. Right. 1.compare to reverse. I could have done reverse. But I figure if I'm doing A compare B, to inverse that is do B compare A. Same thing, right? Join. How does join work? Okay, it's a method on... That's the slice join. What about... is there an iterator join? I probably want... not that one. Or maybe that one. I don't know why I get join wrong a lot, but I do. So that's for a slice. What is it for an iterator? I always get this wrong. What is it? Should we go to DuckDuckGo? Rust join iterator of slices. There we go. Someone's asked it on Stack Overflow. The answer is use iter tools. You could do it with fold. Really, there's no way to just do it? Nah. You would think that there would just be a join for iterator. But I guess it's kind of like an exotic form of collect. So really I want to collect these, but I want to put spaces between them, right? Wasn't there a way to do that where you like, like with zip? Or something like that? I can't remember. I've done this before, though. This is... why is this hard for me? So I can collect them, and then I could... This is... I could just do it this way for now. Let parts equals parts, and then collect into a vector. We'll figure out a better way in a minute, because now that it's in a vector, I can do parts dot join space, right? Slice it first. No. What am I doing wrong here? Is it as ref join? Annotations need to be known. Right, I need to actually put something into... What if I just put part for now? Oh, it's not as ref. Shoot. What is it? Would it... Is that how you do it? Okay, so... I need to do something like part to string. And then remove that. And then this is that. Okay, so that's one way to do it. That's what we're going to go with for now. Okay, so for each part, we need to decrypt each part. So that's rotating. So I need actually a number, right? What was the number that they gave as an example? Oh, this was a room for part 1, right? No, it wasn't. Oh, no, it's here, 343. So that's actually not a part there. That is a number, not a part. So this is an ID. Should just make that unsigned, right? In fact, it should be a U size. So we need to like get each character out. So it'd be part.chars, and then for each character, we need to rotate it around. So it's all lowercase, right? So I can just take its distance from A. Can I just say C minus A? Hold on. Whatever. After we do that, we're going to reassemble it in a string. Right? You can't subtract characters. But there's a way like to get the character as an integer, right? U32, I think. And then subtract it from that, the ASCII code for A as an integer. And then rotate it around. So basically this plus the ID. Let's make that U32 for convenience. And then that modulo, how many letters are there from A to Z? I can never remember these stupid numbers. Is it 27? This is gonna look, I'm gonna look really dumb, but that's okay. I don't mind looking dumb. Let's just look up ASCII table. Right, A through Z. 123 minus 97 is 26. There are 26 letters in the alphabet. Yeah, I can let the computer calculate it for me. You're right. So Z as U32 minus A as 32 plus 1. I don't like how the formatting is messing this up. But then after the modulo, we want to add back A as U32, and then take that whole thing and then put it back as a character, right? Ugh, this is nasty. Hold on. We have that, mod that, plus... Okay, I don't have enough parentheses, that's why. There we go. Oh no, something's wrong now. Only U8 can be cast as character, not U32. Really? So what, I have to do as U8 as U32? I mean, as U8 as character? Really, you can't convert a U32 back into a character? Oh, probably because it's not not all U32s are valid Unicode. In this case, it's ASCII, so I can cheat. I'm not going to do a try from. I'm just going to cheat and do as U8 as char. I think that will so basically, find its distance from A, add the room ID, and then modulo the number of characters in the alphabet to get it back into the range of a character, or 0 to the number of characters. Then offset it from A again, so we get a character. Collect it as a string, and then collect that as a vector of strings and join them with spaces. So let's see if I got it. Why does it think that I'm not using it? I am using it down here. Oh, because this is a test and I'm not using it outside the test. Okay, so it works, right? So we just need to use this function in an adapted part 1. So the way part 2 will work is we actually need to find this specific room, right? So we have to go through and we need to decrypt all the rooms. And we need to find, and when we hit that room, we just need to stop with the ID. So instead of filter map, it's basically it's a for loop, right? For line in input dot lines. Do all this stuff. We don't need to check if it's a valid room anymore, do we? I think we do. I think we want to check that it's a valid room. I think that's because you could have 2 rooms of the same name but with a different checksum. So we can just put our check in here. If decrypt parts ID equals North Pole objects, then return the ID, right? To string. And if we get to outside of the loop, we're just going to panic. Can't find the room. It can be collapsed? Sure it can. Remove that if. If the checksum matches and it decrypts is that, okay, we just need to get our types matching. Expected a slice, so that's like, just borrow it. And then ID, I think it's just the integer types don't match each other. So I can fix that by parsing it directly as a U size. That's what I wanted, right? Or is it some other type? U32. Fine. And we moved parts somewhere. Where do we move it? Moved it on line 49. Oh, yeah, right there. So that's just iter instead of into iter. And I need to dereference it. So what? Map copy? Let's just make it C copy. Yeah. Or dereference. Double dereference C. Hold on. I didn't like that map. Wait, what? Oh, those aren't characters. Shoot. Let's go back. I needed to call chars. Yeah, so it's part.chars. Dereferenced, right? Or does it'll figure that out from there. Yeah, okay, it figures that out. It inserts a automatic dereferencing for me, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay, so then should I just give it a shot? Run 4-2. Can't find the room. Okay, so let's, I guess, debug the decryptions of all the rooms. See what the rooms are. Oh, it's all lowercase. Interesting. The names are fun, though. Rampaging egg customer service, weaponized egg research, magnetic rabbit purchasing. Okay, I think the problem is just that it's lowercase. All right. Still can't find the room. Is it in there somewhere? I just don't... What's chat saying? This is the best part? Did they do something with the names where I had to like find out a name that matches? That's funny. Gosh, I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know. Not hunting for the right one? Maybe I'm just misunderstanding the instructions, so... Where the North Pole objects are stored. So it's not called North Pole objects, it's called something that I should just figure out which one it is. So, I don't know. You just take all the names. Put them in here and remove all these lines. Oh, I don't need to save it. We sort them. All right. North. Oh, there we go. That's the name. All right. Is that cheating? Or was I just supposed to know that? It's 324. There we go. But how... Did they expect me to do exactly what I did? Like offline outside the program, sort it, and then just look for the name, and then see, oh, they added storage on the end? Because they didn't say that. Did they? No, you just had to figure out that that is that. Okay, so I did it a valid way. So that's new because in the last 2 years and this year, they haven't had puzzles basically make you figure out the instructions like that. The instructions are usually explicit. This is the first time I've seen where the instructions are sort of like vague enough where you have to do an extra step outside of the program. I did get to 2019. But maybe I didn't get to the part of 2019 where that happened. I only got to day 21 and a half. Do I just not remember? Maybe I'm blocking it out of my memory. What was day 13? Now go do the thing. I figured it out. I don't remember this. It's been too many years. Okay, so I concede that. So maybe they are once in a while making the instructions vague. But we figured it out. We can close that. I'm getting really tired, so I think I'm going to call it. Maybe just take one more look at this code. Let's move decrypt up, actually. I'm going to put it above the actual puzzle solving. And it's too bad that it can't just tell me the number. It's 26, right? I can't do math in my head really well, but I think that's 26. So why don't I just put 26 there? And then A, we can just look it up. It's decimal 97. And can I go straight to U8 there? I don't want to go to U8, actually. Let me make sure that this still works. Yeah. Although maybe for readability, we don't want to put those constants in there like that. Maybe we want to keep it like this. Compiler doesn't care. The compiler reduces that to the number, but it's more readable this way. 2016 day 4 part 2 won't get past the testers now. Oh yeah, because they have to do that extra step where they search for words. Well, you could, if you knew the word north was in there only once, you could code that in there. In fact, I could probably solve it that way. Rather than looking for this specific string, I could just say that it contains the word north. There's probably only one of them that has that, right? In fact, why don't we do that? Decrypt that one dot contains north. Right? That should give me the same answer. I removed the debug too. 324 is the answer. Okay, maybe we'll just go with that. And we'll just say that we figured out that only one of them actually contains the word north. That 5 constant let's go back. They don't go out and say that the checksums are always 5 characters, do they? But they did happen to be. They're always 5 characters, right? So we just kind of figured that out by luck. I can say const checksum length is 5, and then do that. Oh, it does say 5? Oh yeah, it does. You're right. I stand corrected. So that is an actual constant that we're given. 5. Okay. I don't really feel like doing it now, but a lot of this common code between parts 1 and 2, I should probably refactor out. But I just don't feel like doing it right now. Maybe I'll do it some other time. I think we'll just call it. this was a good stream. We went 3.75 hours having fun with Advent of Code. I'm just going to check really quick to see if there's someone else we can raid. No one I know is doing Advent of Code this late on a Friday night. Had this problem the last couple times where I'm the last to do Advent of Code at this time of night of all the people that I know. Yeah, Friday night's tricky. I think we'll just end the stream unless someone has a suggestion. Hey there, Cat Peasant. I know you always hit the end of the stream. Hey, I went longer just to make sure that you had a chance to see it. The Cat Peasant, we did 2021 days 3 and 4. And because I was having a lot of fun, I went back and did day 4 of 2016 just as like an encore. But yeah, here are, hold on, my personal stats. I didn't have time to do day 3 yesterday, so we did it today before day 4 unlocked. So I would have gotten probably around the same rank. It's hard to tell, but I did it in about 25 to 30 minutes, and then about an hour. I probably would have lost some rank on part 2, but yeah, that's my typical rank this year is mid-2000s. So anyway, I should be back tomorrow to do day 5. I hope you'll join me then. So midnight Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Pacific. Translate that to whatever your time zone is. I hope everybody has a great day and a great evening. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye, chat.